Hello people, in this lecture we're gonna implement our login feature. Let's go to our controller, let's add a new controller for a login controller. This will have the same annotations, the login controller. Alright, we will have an index for our login controller and it will return a view. Let's add a post method. Let's say login. This will be an async task because it will be asynchronous, and we'll not use view models, we'll just use our query strings. Let's use a string for username and a string for password. How can we get the user from our database? For that, we implemented repositories. Let's use our user repository. Let's create a private read-only property for our user repository. And if we right click here and quick actions and refactoring, we can generate the constructor. So we can use now this user repository. Now let's use our user repository. Here we have the methods that we implemented when we implemented our repository. Let's get the user, but the get method use the ID. So we have to implement a new method to get our user by username and password. Let's go to our user repository. In the end, let's create a new method, an asynchronous method. Let's say task. It will return a user, but it can be nullable. Let's use a name get by user name password. Here we have the username and the password. Let's go to our context, users, first our default async, the name is equals username, and the password is equals password. And let's await for that and return it. Here now we have a new method to get our username by password. In the login controller, let's use this method, get by username and password. Let's await for that. And here we will have our user. If the user is not an admin, or the user is null. If the user is equals to null, or the user is not an admin, we will return to the 0 again and use attempt data. Let's use viewbag errors saying username user does not exist or is not allowed, and let's return our view. If the user exists, after that we will create a claims for the user. Let's say claims, a new list of claim. Let's use this package for security. We'll add a new claim for this list of claims. Let's say claim types dot name will be our username, and a new claim for role, and this will be my admin role. Let's create a new property for my identity. Let's use a claims identity class, and the first parameter is my claims. The second parameter is the authentication type. Let's say admin cookie. Let's create another property for my principal. New claims principal, and use my identity as the first parameter. Let's use my HTTP context and sign in async to sign in on your application. Let's add an admin cookie. This will be the name of our cookie. And for the second parameter is our claims principal. Let's use principal. As it is, and I forgot an N here. As it is an asynchronous method, let's await for that operation, and let's return a redirect action, and I will redirection to my home. Actually, this is index, this is home, and here is index. I always confuse myself here. So let's see what we did here. We logged in with our user and password. We get our user if it exists. If it doesn't exist or it's not an admin, a user does not exist or it's not allowed. If it's allowed, I will create all these claims properties, and in the final I will sign in with my admin cookie. After that, I will redirect the user to my home index. But we cannot see this working at the moment because we don't have any users in our database. We will not create a page to create admin users. We will just start our application with an admin user using seed to our database. To do that, I will teach you how to do that in the next lecture. See you again.